Hello students, welcome to the official YouTube channel of Arihant Academy. Today we will be discussing NEET UG 2023 paper, subject chemistry. The paper code is H6. Let us begin. So here we have the first question. They say statement 1, a unit formed by the attachment of a base to 1' position of sugar is known as a nucleoside. That's definitely a correct statement. When nucleoside is linked to phosphorus acid at 5' position of sugar moiety, we get a nucleotide. Now here it is not phosphorus acid, but it should be phosphoric acid. Therefore second statement stands incorrect. So the correct option would be statement 1 is true, but statement 2 is false. Let's move to the next one. The conductivity of centimolar solution of KCl at 25 degrees Celsius is 0.0210 ohm inverse centimeter inverse, and the resistance of the cell containing the solution at 25 degrees Celsius is 60 ohm, and they are asking us the value of cell constant. So we know cell constant is L by A, and very straightforward formula that resistance is rho L by A. So rho is resistivity, I take its inverse, it becomes conductivity. So 1 by kappa into L by A. Therefore L by A, the cell constant, becomes resistance into kappa, which is 60 into 0.0210, and that comes to 1.26 centimeter inverse, which is option 1. Let's move to the next question. They say the correct order of energies of molecular orbitals of N2 molecule. So now this is nitrogen molecule, and its molecular orbitals or molecular electronic configuration is being asked. So again a theoretical question. The option would be C. Let's come to the next question. The number of sigma, pi bonds and lone pair of electrons in pyridine are respectively. Now we all know the structure of pyridine, which is this. Definitely this is the structure. So you can clearly see nitrogen has one lone pair, and there are 3 pi bonds, 3 carbon-carbon pi bonds, and the remaining are 6 carbon-carbon sigma bonds and 5 carbon-hydrogen sigma bonds. So that amounts to the first option, which is 11 sigma, 3 pi and 1 lone pair. Let's take this next one. The element expected to form largest ion to achieve the nearest noble gas configuration is. Now they are asking us the largest ion formed to achieve the nearest noble gas configuration. Meaning nitrogen would have noble gas configuration when it would be 3-, sodium would be Na+, oxygen would be O2-, and fluorine would be F-. I can clearly see these are all isoelectronic species, and for such isoelectronic species the atomic size is given by the electron to proton ratio. Now this electron to proton ratio is the highest for nitrogen, that is the N3- ion, and definitely that's the correct option. Let's move to the next one. They say given below are 2 statements. Let us see the statements. Helium is used to dilute oxygen in diving apparatus. Definitely this is an application of Henry's law, and the reason they say helium has high solubility in oxygen. This is also a sensible reason. The thing is, statement A and the second statement, both of them are correct, but the reason given is not the explanation for the assertion, and so the correct option would be 4th one. Let's move to the next question. They have given us to complete the following reaction. We have a ketone reacting with HCl, which gives us a cyanohydrin type of a molecule, and then it is made to react with concentrated sulfuric acid and heat, which gives us C, and they are asking us what is C. Now the cyanohydrin on reaction with concentrated sulfuric acid and heat, 2 things are going to happen. One is this cyanide moiety getting completely hydrolyzed to carboxylic acid group, and this OH group definitely will undergo dehydration to give us a double bond. So correct option would be option 2. Let's get to the next question. Consider the following reaction and identify the products. Now you have given an alcohol with HBr, which is a strong acid, and they are asking us what the products would be. Now let us solve this question. We have this alcohol in acidic medium. So definitely the first step is going to be protonation. On protonation, and we also know water becomes a good leaving group. It leaves the system generating a secondary carbocation. Correct? And definitely this here is a secondary carbocation. This now undergoes a 1,2 hydride shift to form a tertiary type of a carbocation. And then finally it would land up to the final product on addition of bromine, giving you option C as the correct answer. Let's move to the next question. Again a very simple question, just a graphical representation. Which of the following is graphical representation for Boyle's law? Now we know Boyle's law is pressure inversely proportional to volume. In other words, I can say the graph of pressure versus 1 by volume would be a straight line passing through origin, and the only graph that satisfies this is option 4. Let's move to the next one. Taking stability as the factor, which of the following represents correct relationship? The options given here: AlCl3 more stable as compared to AlCl3, then TLI greater than, definitely the second option is a correct one, and the reason here would be inert pair effect. That is the reluctance of the NS electrons to participate in bond formation, and as you go from top to bottom in a group, the stability of the lower oxidation states increases. That is TL plus would definitely be more stable as compared to TL3 plus. So the correct option would be option 2. Let's move to the next. Again a very simple question. They have given us benzene diazonium chloride and 3 steps are given. So let us go with the first one. So benzene diazonium chloride is reacting with Cu2Br2. Definitely you might have identified this is nothing but Sandmeyer reaction, and this Sandmeyer reaction would yield you a bromobenzene. In the second step, you react it with magnesium in presence of dry ether, and it would generate a Grignard reagent, ARMGX type, and this reacts with water. So definitely an acid base type of a reaction results in formation of benzene. So that's the fourth option. Let's go to the next one. Homoleptic complex from the following complexes is. Now we all know homoleptic complexes are the ones where there is only one type of ligand involved. So the correct option here, if you just even have a look at the words, the third option sounds to be more sensible, which is potassium trioxalato aluminate. The structure would go something like this. You have aluminium and trioxalato, meaning 3 oxalate ions. So this is one oxalate ion here, the second oxalate ion, second oxalate ion, and here's the third oxalate ion. And definitely potassium happens to be a counter ion here. Let's move to the next one. The intermolecular forces of attraction and repulsion between interacting particles that will include. So the intermolecular forces of attraction would definitely be weaker forces, and the only wrong option here would be covalent bond. So it is A, B, C and E, that is dipole-dipole forces, dipole-induced dipole, hydrogen bonding and dispersion forces, which would actually be the correct answer. That is option A. Next question here, the stability of Cu2 plus is more than Cu plus salts in aqueous solution, definitely the correct answer would be hydration energy, because Cu2 plus has a higher charge density. Since it has a higher charge density, it would be more hydrated as compared to Cu plus salt, and more hydration energy meaning more stability. So the correct option is option 1. Let's move to the next. It's a typical match the following type of a question, and let us have a look at it. Coke definitely is used as a reducing agent in many metallurgical processes. Diamond has sp3 hybridized carbon atoms, we all know it, and fullerene has cage-like molecules. Graphite definitely could be used as a dry lubricant. So the correct option in this case would be option 1. Let's go to the next question here. Which of the following statements are not correct? Now, hydrogen is used to reduce heavy metal oxides to metals. Definitely this is a correct statement. Heavy water is used to study reaction mechanisms. This is also a correct statement. Now the moment we read these two questions and have a look at the options given, option 2, 3 and 4 are eliminated directly. So the only option we are left with is option 1. Let's take the next one. The right option for the mass of CO2 produced by heating 20 grams of 20% pure limestone is, now we are given 20 grams of 20% pure limestone. So the limestone sample that is given 20 grams, of that only 20% is limestone. So let us first actually calculate how much of it is limestone. So 20% of 20 grams would be 20 by 100 into 20, that amounts to 4 grams. So though we are given 20 grams of the sample, it only contains 4 grams of calcium carbonate. Now this is undergoing thermal decomposition, CaCO3, giving you calcium oxide and CO2. The reaction is already balanced, and you can see 1 mole of calcium carbonate gives 1 mole of carbon dioxide. That is 100 grams of calcium carbonate. I am talking in terms of the molar masses. 100 grams of calcium carbonate gives you 44 grams of carbon dioxide. So if 100 grams gives 44 grams of CO2, 4 grams of calcium carbonate would correspond to X, and so the value of X here would be 44 times 4 by 100, which is 1.76 grams of CO2 being liberated. So the correct option here is 4. Let us come to the next question. Again a theoretical question. They say the equation delta G is minus NF E cell, and value of delta G depends on N. Definitely that's a correct statement. The assertion is correct. E cell is an intensive property, again a correct thing, and delta G is an extensive property. This is also a correct statement. So both the statements are correct. The assertion as well as the reason are correct, and it is the correct explanation for the assertion. The reason is the correct explanation for assertion. So correct option would be third one. Let's move to the next question again. They are asking us to select the correct statements from the following. Atoms of all elements are composed of 2 fundamental particles. Definitely an incorrect statement. The mass of an electron 9.1 into 10 raised to minus 31 kg is a sensible one. So option B is correct. All the isotopes of given element show same chemical properties is also a correct option. Protons and electrons are collectively known as nucleons. नहीं, ये तो गलत हो गया. It would be protons and neutrons. Dalton's atomic theory regarded the atom to be the ultimate particle of matter. Correct. So option 2. Again a factual question. Let's move to the next question now. For a certain reaction, the rate is K A raised to 2B. When the initial concentration of A is tripled, keeping the concentration of B constant, the initial rate would. Let us try to solve this. So the initial rate be R1, and the equation says R1 is K A raised to 2B. And then they say what would be the rate? Let us say it R2. If the concentration of A is tripled, so if you triple the concentration of A, it would become 3A squared. And now if you just simply take a ratio the constant thing cancels out. So it is R1 by R2 equal to A square by 9A square. The A square also cancels off, and the new rate would be 9 times the initial rate. So there is an increase in the rate of reaction. So which is option 1. Let's go for the next one. Again, assertion reasoning. Let us go for the first assertion. A reaction can have zero activation energy. Definitely. Why not? It can, definitely. Reason: the minimum extra energy absorbed by reactant molecules, so that their energy absorbed by reactant molecules, so that the energy becomes equal to threshold value, is called activation energy. Okay, this statement is also correct, but the reason isn't the one for the assertion. So A and B, A and R both are true, but R is not the correct explanation for A. Let's go for the next question. Which of the following reactions will not give primary amine as a product? Now, looking at the options, you can clearly see the second option is an amide, third is an amide, and fourth is a cyanide. And all of these on reduction would give a primary amine. It is only the first option, which is an isocyanide, on reduction would give a secondary amine instead of a primary. So first option is the correct one. Next question. Some tranquilizers are listed below. Which one of the following belongs to barbiturates? Again, a theoretical question directly from NCERT, and the correct option here is veronal. Next question. They have given a compound, and this is an example of allylic, vinylic, benzylic or aryl halide. Now, if you observe the halogen placed, the halogen is connected to an sp3 hybridized carbon, which is connected to an sp2 hybridized. So in this situation, the halogen would definitely be an allylic halide, which is the first option. Let's go to the next one. Weight of 2 moles of an organic compound, which is obtained by heating sodium ethanoate with sodium hydroxide in presence of calcium oxide. So let us try that. Sodium ethanoate is CH3 C double bond OONA, sodium ethanoate, and it is heated with sodium hydroxide in presence of calcium oxide. So calcium oxide with sodium hydroxide, definitely this is, we all know it is soda lime. So it is a decarboxylation reaction, a step down type of reaction, which gives us methane as the reactant molecule, product molecule. Now the molar mass of methane is 16, but they have asked us for 2 moles, so it would be 2 times, and the correct option here would be 32. Let's move to the next. A compound is formed by 2 elements A and B. The element B forms cubic close pack structure. Cubic close pack structure is FCC. So there would be 4 atoms of B, and the atoms of A occupy 1/3 of the tetrahedral voids. Now if B is forming the cubic close pack structure, it would have 2n number of tetrahedral voids, meaning 2 into 4, that is 8 tetrahedral voids present, and of that only 1/3 are occupied by A. So A is going to occupy 1/3 of the 8 available. So the formula of the compound would be A 8/3, B 4. If I try to solve it further, it becomes A 8, B 12, reducing it down to A2, B 3. If I compare this with Ax By, x is 2, y is 3, and so x plus y becomes 5, which is option 3. Now let us move to the next question here. Amongst the given options, which of the molecules or ion acts as a Lewis acid? Again, a theoretical question directly from the NCERT. Definitely it is BF3, because it is the only one in the group which has an incomplete octet. So quite a simple question. Let's move to the next. In Lasagne's extract of an organic compound, both nitrogen and sulfur are present, which give blood red coloration to Fe3+. Again a straightforward question. The blood red coloration is given by the thiocyanate ion, which is option 2. Next question, 79. Identify the product in this. Again a simple, looking at the reaction itself, we get zinc amalgam concentrated HCl. So that is a case of Clemmensen reduction. And we all know what happens in Clemmensen. The carbonyl group is converted to an alkane. So C double bond O will get converted to CH2. So you can clearly see this carbonyl group as well as this carbonyl will get converted to CH2. So the correct option here would be option 3. Let's move to the next question. Given below are two statements, assertion and reasoning again. The assertion is metallic sodium dissolves in liquid ammonia to give a deep blue solution which is paramagnetic. Yes. So sodium in liquid ammonia definitely would give you unpaired electrons, making the solution paramagnetic, and it is these ammoniated electrons which result in blue coloration of the solution. The reason given is the deep blue solution is due to formation of amide. Definitely incorrect. It is the ammoniated electrons which are responsible for the blue color of the solution. So option A would be a sensible one. Let's go to the next one. Which one of the following is correct? Again a very straightforward question from the NCERT. ये exact line दी हुई है. The bone of human body is inert and unchanging substance. Definitely not. That is not the correct one. Magnesium plays a neuromuscular function and interneuronal transmission. Definitely वो भी गलत है. The correct option here would be option C. The daily requirement of magnesium and calcium in the body is estimated to be 0.2 to 0.3 grams. In NCERT they have given it 200 to 300 milligrams. बस वही छोटा सा difference है. And option 4 definitely is a wrong one. Again the correct thing would be magnesium. So the correct option here is 3rd. Let's move to the next one. The relation between Nm, where Nm is the number of permissible values of magnetic quantum number for a given value of azimuthal quantum number. Now we know the permissible values of magnetic quantum number is 2L plus 1. बस इसी को घुमा कर दिया है हमको. So if I just try to rearrange this, it would be 2L equal to Nm minus 1, or L is Nm minus 1 by 2, which is option 3. Let's move to the next. Among the following, the total number of species not having 8 electrons around central atom. अब यहाँ पर छोटा सा गेम खेल दिया उन्होंने. Not having 8 electrons, so it could be both having less than 8 and more than 8. So incomplete octet and expanded octet दोनों ही examples हम count करेंगे. So it is AlCl3, BeCl2 with incomplete octet and PCl5 with an expanded octet. So the correct option is option 3. Next question here is which one is an example of heterogeneous catalysis? Heterogeneous catalysis is the one where the reactant molecules and the catalyst would be in different phases. So decomposition of ozone in presence of nitrogen monoxide, definitely not, दोनों ही gases हैं. Option 2, combination of nitrogen and hydrogen to form ammonia in presence of finely divided ion, again is Haber's process. So finely divided ion solid state में है और बाकी जो reactants है वो gases, meaning heterogeneous catalysis का example है. So which is option 2. Next question they have given, again a theoretical question from the NCERT directly. Which amongst the following on polymerization gives neoprene? Now neoprene is a polymer obtained by polymerization of chloroprene, which is option 4. Let's move to the next one. They say on balancing a given redox reaction, the coefficients are found to be A, B and C. What are the coefficients? Let's try the question. It is Cr2O72 minus plus SO32 minus plus H plus giving Cr3 plus sulfate plus water. So if you check the increase and decrease in the oxidation numbers here, chromium has changed from +6 to +3 indicating reduction, and sulfur has changed from +4 to +6 indicating oxidation. Now let us try to find out the increase and decrease in oxidation number. So chromium if I find out the increase in oxidation number, the increase in oxidation number is from +4 to +6, and the decrease in oxidation number is from +6 to +3. This is for one chromium. So for 2 chromium atoms, the net decrease would be 6. Now for the reaction to be balanced, the decrease in oxidation number and the increase in oxidation number should be equalized. The moment I equalize, the answer pops up, and definitely there's an increase of, I multiply the increase in oxidation number by 3. So looking at that itself, I get my answer, the third one. Let's move to the next one. Again a theoretical question. The reaction that does not take place in a blast furnace between 900 Kelvin to 1500 Kelvin temperature range during extraction of iron. So we can clearly see it is the third option, and that reaction occurs at around 500 to 800 Kelvin. The rest others occur at 900 to 1500. So option C is the correct one. Let's move to the next one. Again NCERT का direct question है. What fraction of the H-centered octahedral void lies in 1 unit cell of FCC? It is 1/4. Again a straightforward question. Next, देखो फिर से एक straightforward question आ गया, तो exactly formula ही है. Which of the following options is the correct relation between change in enthalpy and change in internal energy? तो straightforward question था, delta H is delta U plus delta NGRT, which is option 4. Let's come to the next question. They have given a match the following like kind of a thing. We are given peroxy disulfuric acid, sulfuric, pyrosulfuric and sulfurous acid. The correct option here would be the fourth one. काफी simple सा question था. If you observe sulfuric acid, option B, this is the structure. And sulfuric acid, if you look at the structure, you have 2s double bond O and 2SOH. So B का तो 4 confirm हो गया. And if you have a look at the option D, is sulfurous acid, it is H2SO3. That is S double bond O, 1s double bond O and 2SOH. So definitely the correct option is going to be option 4. Let's come to the next one. Identify the final product D in this sequence of reactions. So they have given us acetaldehyde reacting with lithium aluminum hydride. We know aldehydes on treatment with lithium aluminum hydride would give corresponding alcohol. So acetaldehyde with lithium aluminum hydride on reduction gives ethyl alcohol, which on reaction with sulfuric acid and heat, so it's a case of dehydration, giving you ethene. Further, what they say is it is made to react with HBr, so addition reaction occurs, giving you CH3 CH2Br, and then it is made to react with bromobenzene. So ये reaction का नाम तो हम लोग भी जानते हैं. This is Wurtz-Fittig reaction, and the product formed would be this. So the correct option is C. Quite a simple one. Let's move to the next. Question 92. Which complex is the most stable? Now of them, see the metal is the same, so it would be the ligands that would decide the stability, and so we can clearly see En, ethylene diamine, is a chelating ligand, and chelating ligands tend to increase the stability of the complex. So option 1 is the correct one. Question 93, they say consider the following compounds or species and the number of compounds which obey Huckel's rule is. Now Huckel's rule is 4n plus 2 pi electrons. That is, the molecule is aromatic. So quite a simple one. The first one, second, fifth and seventh are the ones which are obeying the rule. The others are not. So the correct option here would be option 3. Question 94, they have given a reaction and they are asking us what are the products. Okay, so you can clearly see breaking this bond, this carbon oxygen bond would generate a benzyl carbocation and a phenoxide ion. So HI, definitely being a strong acid, the product formed would be benzyl iodide and a phenol, which is option A. Let's go to question 95. They have given us a molecule and it is made to react with ammonical silver nitrate solution, which is Tollens reagent. And we know Tollens reagent reacts with aldehydic groups and not ketonic. So the aldehydic group would be oxidized to carboxylate, which is option 1, while the ketonic group remains as it is. Next question. The nutrient deficient water bodies lead to eutrophication. Definitely not a correct statement. Eutrophication refers to excess of nutrients. So the first statement is incorrect. Eutrophication leads to decrease in the oxygen level. Yes, that's a correct statement. So first statement is incorrect and second is correct, which is option 2. Let's come to the next one. Which among the following is most readily dehydrated under acidic conditions? So all of them are alcohols. In acidic conditions, they would undergo protonation, leading to the generation of a carbocation. So we have to just gauge the answer based on the stability of the carbocation. And it is option 2 because the carbocation generated here would look something like this. NO2, and here's the carbocation generated. You can clearly see the carbocation form is much further away from the nitro group, which is an electron withdrawing one. We know minus I effect or inductive effect in general is a distance dependent group. As the distance increases, the inductive effect tends to decrease. So nitro group being far away, this would be a more favorable one to undergo dehydration. Next question. The incorrect statement among the following is, they have given us a statements, let us try them. All the transition metals except scandium form MO oxide, which are ionic. Okay. The highest oxidation number corresponding to the group number in the transition metal oxides is attained by Sc2O3 and Mn2O7. Basic character increases from V2O3 to V2O4 to V2O5. That's an incorrect one because it is not the basic character that increases, acidic character that increases. So पहला statement हमको मिल गया जो incorrect है. And then they say V2O4 dissolves in acids to give VO4 3 minus. ये भी गलत है. It is actually V2O4 in acidic systems gives VO2 plus type of ions. So D एक हमारा incorrect option निकला. So the correct options here technically would be C and D, which is option 1. Let's move to the next question now. Pumice stone is an example. NCERT में ये तो tabulated form में भी दिया हुआ था. The correct answer would be solid soul. सरफेस केमिस्ट्री चैप्टर में जो एग्जांपल्स दिए थे उसमें से ही स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड क्वेश्चन आया है. एंड द लास्ट क्वेश्चन, द इक्विलिब्रियम कॉन्सेंट्रेशन ऑफ द स्पीशीज इन अ रिएक्शन आर 2, 3, 10, 6 मोल पर लीटर रिस्पेक्टिवली एट 300 केल्विन. तो डेल्टा जी नॉट उन्होंने पूछ लिया है. आर की वैल्यू दे हैव गिवन 2 कैलोरी केल्विन इनवर्स मोल इनवर्स. सो क्वाइट अ सिंपल वन. डेल्टा जी वुड बी minus 2.303 RT log to the base 10 of K. Now K here is an equilibrium constant, तो पहले equilibrium constant calculate कर लेते हैं. A plus B giving C plus D. So technically the equilibrium constant on applying law of mass action would be concentration of products divided by concentration of reactants raised to their stoichiometric coefficients. So let us have a look at the values 2, 3, 10 and 6. So it is 10 into 6 divided by 2 into 3. So that cancels out and K का value आ गया 10. So just substituting those values we get our answer into 2, temperatures 300 and log 10 to the base 10 is 1. So it is minus 2.303 times 2 times 300, which lands up to the first option, 1381.8 calorie. Thank you, students.